Good evening, short story scribes. It's Friday, so we are going to look at kind of what if scenario, and that is that the law has changed. It's borrowed from Larry Niven in one of his stories where he postulates that the world will become so populated that pickpocketing would be impossible to enforce as a criminal investigation. So a lot of laws since he wrote that in the 70s have been changed, and the most high profile would be the decriminalization of cannabis. But a lot of laws have equally been changed, with a lot of hoo-ha in some countries, less in others. And we now have same-sex marriage. We have different definitions of manslaughter, or let's just say that certain laws have become less prosecuted simply because time, resources, budget requirements, and also because public attitudes have changed, pornography being one. A certain amount of smuggling is tolerated these days also. So some of the more science fiction-y aspects of what was simply fiction in the 1970s is now fact, and add to that technological and medical developments, and we live in a very, very different era. So we're going to go with that particular prompt from Larry Niven, and that is that thefts of a value of, say, less than $50 US, $100 Canadian, Australian, maybe 40-50 pounds in Britain, 40-50 euros in the European bloc, are not prosecuted. So how could we take that and turn it into the seed of an idea for any kind of story? So we will start with comedy. It would have to be fairly grim comedy. Literature. Well, a lot of very good literary fiction is written around speculative ideas. The Lovely Bones being one, The Time Traveler's Wife. And the idea is basically you take this idea and you explore the human aspect. What would happen to the humans involved in if they were reacting as real human beings? So you could either explore the mindset of such a thief, somebody who becomes a career thief and only steals $50 or less. Or how about the effect on the life of somebody for whom $50 is one heck of a lot of money, and it causes a really massive repercussion for them when they have that money stolen, and maybe becomes a revenge story, I don't know. Science fiction, fantasy, surreal, and horror, same sort of thing. The person stealing the money or the object can have, or they find that there are consequences. They steal a gadget, and maybe there's a spirit involved which exacts revenge in a horror or surreal story. Fantasy or science fiction, the gadget gives them powers which alter their life and maybe turn them into an anti-hero of some kind. Crime, mystery, thrillers, they're stealing something, and maybe this helps them commit a bigger crime of some kind. Excuse me. Well, it's accurate because I've gone over 5 minutes. Political. The person introducing this law finds themselves either very successful or being shunned as a result of trying to. Historical. The Reivers of Scotland had their own special laws around theft. You could keep anything that you stole from a fellow Reiver, and that included a family member, if 7 days had elapsed. Fun fact, interesting fact, I don't know. Weird fact. Horror biographical. That would be, again, historical biographical. Right about a Reiver. And jury situation, well, somebody is on trial and they get off on a technicality because of the exchange rate fluctuations. On the day when they stole the item, it was only worth $49, and then the next day it was $50, and when the police arrested it was $50, but at the time of theft. So they get off on a technicality, and then maybe somebody goes and gets them or steals from them. Revenge. All right, okay. As usual, like and subscribe if you think that this channel would be of use to fellow writers. And as usual, get writing.